What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid trance. And we're back with the one, the only, the legendary Pablo Gargano. And we're going to listen to Eve 3, though as you can see, I have a white label copy of this, which is to say it doesn't have the characteristic blue sleeve or inner label or record label that the normal Eve releases do, and it actually has some writing on whoever the previous owner was, which is to say I got this in a shop, or maybe it was on Discogs, I don't remember. There was a phase where I began getting a few Eve records before I started using Discogs regularly, but admittedly much of my now extensive, not quite complete, but pretty close to it, collection of Pablo's material came from the early Discogs days. In any case, this is Eve 3, as I said. We're going to listen to his tune, The Spice, one of a number of tracks over the years from some different producers, and often in the realm of trance, but I think techno and some other places too, that samples the David Lynch version of Dune from the 80s. So yes, it speaks to the spice, and the spice renews life and all that. I saw that a very long time ago because my brother was a fan, and then ultimately, years later, I would hear this and some other tracks that sample it, and it's like, why do I know that? Whatever. And I remember my brother hearing me mix one time. He's like, oh, it's from the old Dune. It's from that David Lynch Dune production. I was like, that would explain it. So yeah, this is from 1996. As I said, it's Eve 3, and this is the one and only Pablo Gargano. Let me make sure I have it on the right side. Yes, okay. So yes, this is The Spice by Pablo Gargano, Eve 3, 1996.
The beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 10,191. The known universe is ruled by the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV, my father. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. spice extends life, life, life. Spice extends life, life, life. Spice extends life, 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 life.
So definitely the kind of tune you can end a set with, but also one that will sound really nice layered over an incoming tune, because by the point at the end there, you could have the bass line and even some of the synth work of your new track going, but there'll still be that vocal, the spice, like layered over it. So it's a track, and given the ambient opening too, you can use it at the start, you can use it right in the middle of a set, you can use it at the end of a set. It's a very versatile record. And I think, there's so many good tunes from Pablo. It's hard to pin down what his most popular or most beloved among his fans are, but I do think this is one that's in a lot of people's conversations. It's just all the things that characterize his excellent work, especially, again, like I've talked about it before, Pablo's stuff like 94, like 93, 94, 95, it's good, but by the time you get to 96, 97 is where I think he was just, and maybe even 98, still at the peak of his game. Late 90s, he started to shift a little bit and go into like slightly more like progressive style hard trance, maybe even progressive trance proper, and that stuff is class as well. It's just not what everybody thinks of immediately when you think of Pablo Gargano, which is, again, like Eve 1 through maybe 21, 22, the first 20 especially. So yeah, this is like peak Pablo, exactly what he's known for, that driving hard trance, but with a lot of melody and a lot of acid. And there's that like main synth line, which kind of has like two levels, almost sounding like a synth brass or like a synth kazoo, not in a bad way. And that's very frenetic and rapid fire, and that definitely gives this tune a lot of flavor. But it's really when the acid comes in the final third that I think it just goes to another level. And I was thinking, like, there's other producers who are known for this. Nostrum is a great example, who's known for making melody with the 303, not just having like, a supporting acid element, not just having like an acidic bass line, but for crafting melodies specifically with the 303. But really, if I had to pick one, I think Pablo is even more amazing at it. Again, they're on the same level. Michael Kors, he's right there too. Some Nuclear Hide stuff maybe, but Pablo's ability to make like moving, like heart-rending melodies with the 303, with the acid sound, is incredible, and I think it's found here too, where it's like, it's very liquidy acid, it's very rapid fire acid, but it's like shifting in tone and key, and it's like, it's progressing in a way that like really captivates you and is, again, sort of like emotionally moving, instead of just being like an acid background or like an acid stab and so on. So yeah, I think this is another great example, and as I said, I think the tune really reaches its peak in the final third when that quick breakdown and acid break finally come. I will say also, it's another example of his eccentricity. Like, I talked about it before, Pablo will do things that are like non-standard even if they're perfectly rhythmic, meaning like he'll introduce a new element after a 16 instead of after a 32 or a 64, where like it's more expected. He'll, bring in a hat after an 8, or like he'll have what appears to be like a full proper breakdown, and then it starts going again even as it's still building, and there's like these rolling snare drums that in other tracks might just be like full breakdown, big snare build and drop, and there's nothing wrong with that, but Pablo just finds a way to like keep you on your toes and guessing even as it's sort of intuitive at the same time. So yeah, there's an eccentricity in a very good way to his productions, and I think this is another example. So yeah, it's Pablo Gargano from 96, when I mentioned it before, so many of my favorite acid trance and acid techno tunes come, again, maybe the period like late 95 to like 98 is a larger golden period for Pablo specifically, but also for other acid trance and acid techno. But 96, for whatever reason, it just seems like so many times when I'm like, oh man, this is really one of my absolute favorites, it's from 96. It just seems like when those genres, when the acid sound in trance and techno was just absolutely exploring and finding excellent territory. So yeah, shout out to Pablo, shout out to Eve. Let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.